Well, they tried to figure out how it was our fault. The sample
I don't need snarkiness here. I just need the facts. What did they say?
They agreed to take a paint sample, which I sent them, and then they said, "Oh, it's because you didn't clean the floors well." But we really cleaned the floors.
What's your damage claim?
I think $6,500.
How much?
$6,500.
The
Gator Guard.
No, listen to me.
I did really clean the floor well.
Doesn't sound like it.
You know, what started out as a do-it-yourself project is now turning into a request for over $6,000.
Damages from the product that I bought.
Hey,
I had no clue.
One at a time.
This entitled Karen tried scamming the courts and got humbled bad in front of everybody. She's out here claiming the paint she bought from billion-dollar company Dutch Boy was faulty, like they just sell broken paint. Now, I really don't need to say much because this one's just straight up entertaining. The judge sees right through her BS and calls her out hard. You can literally feel the secondhand embarrassment through the screen, and the best part is she really thought this would work. Let me know in the comments if you think she was actually trying to scam or if she just fully convinced herself she's the victim. Let's dive in here and watch this heated meltdown.
Lucy Jameson Silverio versus Dutch Boy Paints. Are the parties present in this matter?
I am.
You would
Yes,
be.
sir.
Ma'am, identify yourself, please.
Oh, I'm Lucy Jameson Silverio.
All right. And do we have a representative from Dutch Boy Paints?
We do. My name's Mike Santora.
Okay, Mr. Santora, let's make a note of that. That the allegation here to be that Ms. Silverio bought paint or bought Dutch Boy paint, and that when used in keeping with the directions, it resulted in an unsatisfactory result. That about sum it up, ma'am?
Yes, very unsatisfactory.
Okay. I'm going to swear you both in because I want to take some testimony from both of you. Would you please both raise your right hands? You both solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. All right. Ms. Jameson Silverio, tell me what happened.
Okay. We live in a sort of a concrete block cottage on a lake that had been my mother's. And she painted the floor probably, about 27 years, no, less than that, 21 years ago. And then I repainted it after 10 years with the same paint that she bought. That was just like a brown. And then we moved into the cottage.
Is it literally the same paint 20 years later?
No, it's about 10 years later. It was the paint that she had. And it wasn't the Dutch Boy paint. It was another paint.
Okay.
And it lasted really
okay,
well for 10 years.
I'm jumping ahead. You go ahead.
It lasted pretty well for 10 years. And then we repainted it. I repainted it myself like 10 years later because it was a little bit scuffed. And it looked good for a long time, but I felt like it wasn't looking good and I wanted to repaint the floors because, you know, we were living here. And I know that she bought that paint at some place like Big Lots, you know, but I bought Dutch Boy because I thought, oh, that's a really good brand and that paint is going to last. I have done a lot of painting. I painted when I was in college in summers, and I've renovated 4 houses. I've never done so much work and had such a bad outcome as this paint that I bought from Dutch Boy. That says on the label, tough, durable coating, resist fading, weathering, scuffing, ideal for porches and floors. And I contacted Dutch Boy afterwards and they said they would cover the 2 gallons of paint and give me $100. But I had bids. The only place that I could find, I was hoping when they heard what happened that they would come and repair it somehow, you know, because you can't paint on top of a paint that's like that.
What's wrong with it? What's wrong with the paint?
It doesn't stick to the floor. It has bad adherence. I couldn't believe it. we painted the floor. I had to argue with my husband to get him to agree to do it. He's like, oh, we were traveling to California. And I said, let's paint before we leave so that it can dry up really well before we come back. And he said, oh, that's so stressful. We're going to the airport. But I finally, I finally got him to agree. We went around I got rid of the dog a day early, set up to stay at a hotel. We went around on our hands and knees and sanded the floor and washed the floor. I hadn't done nearly as good a job when I recoated with the brown paint that my mother had bought after 10 years of that paint. Then wiped down the floor, then painted with the Dutch boy paint. We painted ourselves right out the door. Came back from California. I put down the suitcase on the floor and it scraped it. Here's the floor. Look at this. I don't know what you can see exactly, but I can take my fingernail and go like this and peel it up. See that?
Okay. All right, I got you. All right. What do you claim? You had some contact with Dutch Boy. What did they say?
They said, well, they tried to figure out how it was our fault. I ended up sending him a sample.
I don't need snarkiness here. I just need the facts. What did they say?
They said that they would give us the cost of 2 gallons of paint and $100.
Did they offer an explanation?
They said that it wasn't their responsibility, kind of, and then they agreed to take a paint sample, which I sent them, and then they said, oh, it's because you didn't clean the floors well, but we really cleaned the floors.
I'm sure you guys scrubbed the paint very well, like Olympic level scrubbing. Dutch Boy Paints is literally a subsidiary of Sherwin-Williams, which means they've got billion-dollar backing and science nerds in lab coats making sure their paint doesn't melt walls or summon demons. So the fact they even offer this lady a refund is a win. Most companies would have just ghosted her like a bad Hinge date. But nope, here comes this Karen dragging a paint dispute into an actual courtroom like she's starring in Law & Order, Home Depot division. And now tell me if this makes sense. Your biggest life crisis is wall paint, and your next move is to sue a mega corporation. Like, this can't be real, right? Just wait, she's about to go full rage mode in the next 3 seconds.
And even on this gallon of paint, that I never returned the paint to Menards where I bought it, because I thought maybe they'd want the paint, because you don't want to sell a floor paint that doesn't adhere.
When did you buy the paint?
About a month before or 3 weeks before I bought the painted the floor.
Okay, and when was that?
This was painted last May.
Last
May, a year ago now.
Okay.
I mean, I've been trying to figure out how to fix it.
Okay.
And I put in a link. I put 3 bids that I've got for the floor. I really don't want to go to plastic laminate. I really just wanted to leave it, with the concrete floor painted.
Okay. All right. What's your damage claim?
I think $6,500.
How much?
$6,500.
The
Gator Guard.
No, listen to me. That's just the simple maximum you can claim. I need proof of what your damages are.
Okay, look at the link.
You can't just throw out a number and say, "Oh, those are my damages."
No, those are. Did you see the link of the bids that I got?
I'm just asking you a very simple question. The amount of your damages and how you calculated them.
I calculated my damages by the amount that it would cost to have something done to the floor that doesn't look horrible. My floor looks horrible.
Do you have estimates from painters?
Yeah, one is a painter. They said they'd have to take all the paint up. The estimate from the painting place was $7,437. And we had to move all the furniture. And that was from a company named Gator Guard. There's a link that I put in the chat box so that you can see the 3 bids.
I'm not dealing with any links. I have a paper file in front of me. So, okay, Mr. Santora, you've been sitting there very quietly, biting your tongue. Can I hear from you now?
Certainly. So, when the complaint was logged, we had asked Ms. Silvero for the batch number that was on the gallon of paint that she had used.
Sure.
And with that, we're able to track when we manufacture batches of paint. We typically, this particular batch was manufactured, it was 3,000 gallons at that time. When we manufacture that batch, we test it for certain characteristics to make sure that it's within specification of our formula, and it was. The other thing that we looked at was any complaints in the system that were related to this batch number. This was the first and only complaint of any kind related to the batch. You know, having said that, we had asked for some information on square footage, amount of product used, and
do you have that square footage in front of you?
What I was given was 630 square feet.
Okay, so we're talking about a room, not a house.
Yeah.
I can show you.
Yeah, well, tell me.
Well, it's this room, which is our like a living room.
Okay,
Kitchen.
that's all I needed to know. It's
And then it goes in here, and it's the bathroom. And then you go in here, and this is a room that it used to be a bedroom, but we put stairs in, and we call it the pass-through, and it's like a pantry.
Okay, I want to go
So
back to this. Okay, I'm going
three
back to
rooms.
Mr. Santora now.
I really can't tell if this Karen is trying to scam the company or if she just genuinely believes the paint had a personal vendetta against her floor. Like, bad paint? That's not even a thing. Unless you're painting with expired yogurt, the problem probably isn't the product. Like a billion-dollar company with decades of testing behind their formulas just happens to botch a single can, and it just so happens to land in the hands of the most lawsuit-happy person alive. Either this is the unluckiest customer service story ever, or she's angling for a courtroom cash grab like it's a scratch-off ticket. What's even wilder is there's no law that says a company has to refund you over emotional damage caused by paint. You need actual proof of negligence, not just vibes, Karen. This whole thing feels less like a legal case and more like a poorly written Yelp review that got out of control. Let me know what you guys think so far, because either she's delusional or playing 4D chess with a paint can.
Mr. Santora, go ahead.
Okay, so at the time we were shown a receipt for 1 gallon. Ms. Silvero had said she had purchased 2, but we only saw a receipt for the 1. At 630 square feet, that product basically goes about 400 square feet per gallon, depending on the texture and porosity. So it seemed to us at the time that there was some under application, but the main culprit here was when we got the peel samples and viewed it under a microscope. The underside of the sample was full of contamination, loose concrete, sand, paint from another application. And, you know, one of the main things when it's in the directions, you know, this type of product has to be applied to a sound, clean, dull, and dry surface.
Are those directions contained on the paint container?
They are.
They
Okay.
are.
And so, you know, just like a medical examiner examining a dead body and determining cause of death, this is a similar situation. We could look at the backside of a sample and it can tell us a multitude of things. It could tell us how smooth that surface was, how clean that surface was, and how sound that surface was. You know, paint needs a sound, clean surface in order to adhere. And what we're seeing here doesn't show us that. And as far as the paint sticking to a plastic paint can or the piece of paper on top of the can, that's not an approved surface, and that's not a good indication of adherence. Is how well it adheres to the top of the paint can.
Okay, thank you. All right, ma'am, anything further on your part?
Yes. I did really clean the floor well. And the paint that I had
It
done,
doesn't sound like it.
no, it doesn't sound like it from what he's saying. But actually, I've done a lot of painting, and I'm not lying. And the brown paint that had been painted before looks so much better than this paint that was on, even still. It's
Okay.
I mean, we
Anything
really
further?
did clean the floor. The previous paint that we used, that was that my mother had bought, was a cheap paint that held up much better than this Dutch boy paint, and it
Okay,
I kept the gallon so that they could
all
test
right,
it.
all right. None of that is pertinent to what I'm deciding. Okay, anything further from either one of you?
Yeah, I just wanted to add that, what started out as a do-it-yourself project for either $30 or $60 worth of product that was purchased is now turning into a request for over $6,000.
Damages from the product that I bought.
Hey,
I had no clue
one
that-
at a time. Go ahead, Mr. Santora.
And so based on our examination of the samples and the facts, we just don't feel that's a very reasonable solution at this point.
Okay.
All
All right. Okay, I'm ready to rule on this matter. This is a civil matter. The party seeking to win the case has to prevail by a preponderance of the evidence. I've got two credible witnesses here who have given me conflicting testimony. And without further evidence, I'm not in a position to declare that either side has prevailed by a preponderance of the evidence. Having said that, what that means is judgment will be in favor of the defendant and not the plaintiff, because the plaintiff has not prevailed on her burden of proof. All right, thank you. Oh, don't forget, you can appeal within 7 days.
I think you should help people with that poor woman with her car. She had to take time off work.
Thank you.
I really can't tell if this Karen is trying to scam the company or if she just genuinely believes the paint had a personal vendetta against her floor. Like, bad paint? That's not even a thing. Unless you're painting with expired yogurt, the problem probably isn't the product. Like a billion-dollar company with decades of testing behind their formulas just happens to botch a single can, and it just so happens to land in the hands of the most lawsuit-happy person alive. Either this is the unluckiest customer service story ever, or she's angling for a courtroom cash grab like it's a scratch-off ticket. What's even wilder is there's no law that says a company has to refund you over emotional damage caused by paint. You need actual proof of negligence, not just vibes, Karen. This whole thing feels less like a legal case and more like a poorly written Yelp review that got out of control. Let me know what you guys think so far, because either she's delusional or playing 4D chess with a paint can.